there's a scripture that's an Advent-related scripture that says, the rich he has sent empty away. And there's another scripture that says, God opposes the proud but gives grace to the humble. And I was looking at something from Brad Geary, 06 SEAL, who in CO school, he learned that there's this idea of hubris syndrome that leaders have. And one of his takeaways from this 4-page article that he posted, if you'd like it, just hit me up, I'll send it to you, was that as we get closer to the top as leaders, we have fewer people calling us by first name. So I'm going to give you 15 seconds right now. You don't have to talk to your neighbor, but think of who gets to call you by first name besides your parent or your spouse in a way that says they can tell you. I'll imagine they're talking to me, Kristian. Kristian, you are jacked up. I love you, but you're on the wrong track. Who can tell you by first name that if you get off course and you start to crack with your true north? So this is my 10-second pause. Now, you may not think you need it because you got 2 stars and an anchor. You may not think you need it because you've got what I heard Captain Ferguson call the big chicken. I never heard it that. And my dad is a retired colonel, even though he was an E2 when he started out. But we all need somebody like that. And there was a man who got something like polio, whose daddy was a railroad man. He was a Dutch dude. His name was FDR. Started the New Deal. For many in here, we might celebrate as we drink to the foam that he ended prohibition. But FDR had 4 terms. He died in office. I heard an Iwo Jima machine gunner, really a flamethrower, just talk about how his family, and they would hear FDR come on. His daddy, who was World War I vet, would make them stand up as the radio did their thing, as the President of the United States was speaking. But I think that it's interesting that Brad Geary mentioned that FDR had somebody who would call him Franklin. Never, as an advisor, would stop calling him Franklin. So I just encourage us, first of all, I mean, if I think about Jesus at the tomb and Mary thought it was a gardener, and she says, "Where'd you put him?" And he just says, "Mary," and boom. She's like just taken aback that this person knows her name, and instantly she knows who it is. When we have our name spoken to us, something changes, and I think that happens with our subordinates, and I know we call them by their last name, but there's times when they lose a parent or something where you might say, you know, and I know you all do this, you know, I've had it happen to me with my commanders, you know, HM2 Smith, John, I'm so sorry that your dad has died, but we're going to back you, and things just shift. So let's not be proud that we don't think we need help, because I know, and this is just my confession, I need a whole lot of help. And a lot of times it starts with my wife. It also starts with